Hi everyone, welcome to our group presentation. Today me, Alex, Riley, and Nawa will present about Alex's teaching plan. So we're looking at Alex, another Alex year 11 student, and how teaching choices and social support can help or harm motivation and learning. Before getting to know Alex, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of the land and pay respect to elder past and present. So, Alex is a year 11 student who loves environmental science and started the years very strong. So he learned well with step-by-step teaching, or we call it explained teaching. But by mid-year, his result and motivation dropped. He also experienced cyberbullying, and thus hurt his sense of self. To understand why all of this happened, we'll look at the field case study and literature review and how they connect to Alex's situation. So, looking at Alex's academic side, things actually start up pretty strong. Snelcher, in 2006, explained that explicit instruction really help beginners. When you're new, having clear steps will reduce cognitive load and build confidence. And that's exactly what happened with Alex. The structure helped him thrive at first. But Snelcher also warned that if you keep giving the same step-by-step instruction, it can have an opposite effect. Students would stop learning from it and it started to feel redundant. That is where Bandura self-efficiency theories come in. So when students don't see growth or they cannot take ownership, their confidence drops. And that's matched Alex's experience. He went from feeling capable to doubting himself. Now, Chung and his colleagues built on this theory, showing that feedback and encouragement from teacher and peer can rebuild the sense of belief. So it's not just about changing the lesson, it's about how teacher communicate and give students space to succeed independently while still supporting them. Mohat and colleges, along with Flick, add another layer. So Mohat highlight reflective and adaptive teaching. We have to noticing when student is ready for more challenge and adjusting instead of repeating the same thing. Flick show that gradually moving from explicit teaching to guided inquiry keeps students engaged because they feel supported but also trusted to explore. So putting it all together, Snelcher explained why Alex did well at the start. Bandura and Chung showed what went wrong with his confidence, and Mohat and Flick point out how teacher can adjust to rebuild both of his learning and motivation. When we move to Alex's social and emotional side, things get even clearer. Swearer, in 2010, showed how bullying can really damage a student's self-concept and sense of identity. That's exactly what we see with Alex. The cyberbullying makes him feel isolated and ashamed of his interests. And it's not just a social issue, it's also affects his learning. But there's also strong evidence for what we can do to help. Derek and his team, in their analysis in 2011, found that social and emotional learning program actually improved both relationship and academic outcome. So in Alex's case, building those SEL skills, like managing emotion and connecting with peers, could really help him feel safe and supported again. Brunzel and his colleagues take a step further by talking about trauma-informed teaching. So they highlight the need of classroom for where students feel trust, feel safe, and voices. For Alex, that approach would give him security to re-engage without fear of more harm. At the same time, Gay argued for culturally responsive teaching, like affirming student identities and linking learning to what matters to them. For Alex, that means that his environmental passion should be focused. So if the teacher bring it into lesson, they can validate who he is and what excites him, which really help to rebuild his sense of belonging. Of course, teacher cannot do this alone. Carey stressed the importance of multi-stakeholder approach, involving peers, parents, and school staff in preventing bullying. And that's connect directly with the Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership report from 2024, which highlight how strong, respectful family-school partnership really improves student outcome. If teacher, parent, and Alex all share goals and communicate openly, then his challenges can be addressed consistently both in and out of school. So, putting this together, Swearer explained the damage of bullying causes. Derlick and Brunzel show a way to rebuild support through SEL and trauma-informed practices. Gade reminds us to affirm identities and Carry Carry show how collaboration is a glue that hold it all together. That give us a real picture of how to help Alex socially and emotionally.
Today, I will present to you the pedagogical practices that are relevant to Alex's case. To support Alex, who is currently finding difficulties in low self efficacy, academic struggle, and the detrimental impact of bullying, teachers are encouraged to actively support students by using the teaching strategies of inquiry based learning and explicit teaching. Through the inquiry learning of strategic scaffolded instructions of the group experiment, it allows students like Alex to increase his motivation to do group work but also be able to foster his capabilities independently. Similarly, explicit teaching introduces a sequence of instructions given out by teachers. This way it reduces his cognitive load and builds his confidence through clear instructions and creatively modeling demonstrations of the classroom activities. Explicit teaching is mentioned by Krishna Swela and Clark as the past half century of empirical research has provided overwhelming and unambiguous evidence that minimal guidance is significantly less effective and efficient than guidance specifically designed to support the cognitive processing necessary for learning. The guidance is seen through the teacher led instructions on how the experiment is conducted. A structured guidance strategy will prevent cognitive overload that could happen to Alex. Therefore, when scaffolding is used to deliver instructions, Alex and other students are able to boost their confidence in participation and build a foundation of academic learning. Bandura describes inquiry learning as successes build a strong conviction of efficacy. The classroom plan uses scaffolded inquiry that allows Alex to independently experiment with water samples in his groups. This reduces his anxiety and builds confidence to work together in groups, which mitigates bullying as it focuses on group collaboration. This boosts Alex's confidence to see himself as a capable learner, as noted by Bandura, in an environment of people who he can trust.
Today, I will present a classroom plan designed to support Alex, a student struggling with bullying, low self efficacy, and disengagement, while using following interventions: explicit instruction with gradual release, scaffolded inquiry based group work, reflective teacher strategies, social and emotional learning, and respect norms, target feedback, and identity affirmation. Our goals are simple but powerful. Firstly, we will try to rebuild Alex's belief that he is a capable learner, drawing on Bandura's theory of self efficacy. In this way, Alex will be confident in his learning and his identity. Secondly, we will try to help him feel safe and he belongs in this classroom community. And third, we will try to reconnect learning to his passion for the environment. The topic of today's science class is water pollution, a theme connected to Alex's interests. We begin by setting classroom rules such as respecting each other, and then we will introduce clear learning goals. To reduce anxiety and build confidence, we use explicit instruction first. We will show students how to form hypotheses and conduct a basic experiment. This step follows Kirshner, who argues that clear guidance is especially helpful for novice and demotivated learners. This is quote fits in with Alex's situation. Students are then divided into small inclusive groups of 3 to 4. Each of the group will test different water samples from different areas. Roles are assigned with students' choice to support autonomy and engagement. Alex is grouped with respectful peers. We use a scaffolded inquiry model. Students explore the experiment independently, while the teacher watches for moments to adaptively step in. If Alex seems uncertain, we offer supportive hints or examples to help him. If he shows confidence, we encourage deeper exploration and further study. This aligns with Mohammed on reflective adaptive teaching that adjusts support as students grow. Throughout the activity, we validate Alex's passion for the environment, integrating his identity into the learning process. According to Gay, affirming students' lived experiences and cultural backgrounds strengthens motivation and participation. Finally, we close with positive targeted feedback, which is mentioned by Durlock. We highlight what students did well and what they can try next time. This will help student Alex feel both seen and capable. This feedback process promotes self-efficacy and strengthens peer relationships, crucial after bullying experiences. This classroom plan is not just about science content, it is about using pedagogical strategies to support Alex's academic recovery, emotional safety, and identity development. However, challenges include managing group dynamics, especially bullying risks may resurface, and ensuring the teacher provides Mohammed's concept of just right scaffolding. Overuse of explicit teaching could reduce student curiosity, while inconsistent facilitation might leave Alex unsupported or under-challenged. Reflective teacher judgment is essential throughout the whole activity and Alex's learning process.
An important aspect of the education of students is the collaboration between teachers and parents to advocate for the best learning experience of the student and their children. For many years, the involvement between parents and teachers in a student's academic abilities are profoundly impacted. When the relationship and interactions between students and other stakeholders like parents and teachers are intermingled, it impacts the development of students in a schooling environment. This interaction is called ecosystems. Taken from Curry 2020, teachers will establish a consistent open communication with the parents of Alex in a meeting on Thursdays every 2 weeks to discuss the personal matters of Alex's progress in the classroom, how the teacher implements teaching strategies of both explicit and inquiry based teaching in science, which is Alex's mastery subject, to define Alex's identity that will ultimately boost his notion of self efficacy. The parents are advised to engage in a discussion with Alex daily. This discussion will cover what makes him excited about his day at school, as well as to highlight on the attitudes he must adopt at school to rebuild his confidence. As seen in teachers and school leaders can assist parents with developing actions and attitudes that progressively become more centered on the student's learning. ACE 2024. An approach that is vital for Alex learning is for teachers to convey transparency, a detailed explanation of how the use of targeted feedback and scaffolding in teaching can help address his low self efficacy and academic struggles. Suggesting for bullying prevention strategies like peer led support for Alex can help him express collaborative learning. As noted, genuine communication with parents can help to build mutually beneficial partnerships between parents and teachers. 8 2024. As Alex's teacher, it is vital to consult weekly staff meetings every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. to discuss Alex's low self-efficacy, academic challenges, and bullying. The meeting will be held for around 30 minutes. It will promote a collaborative approach to review the student's progress and advocate for transparency into what actions should be taken. According to Karkari, some teachers have considered physical and cyberbullying to be more serious problems than other forms of bullying. All teachers in the initial meeting will be briefed on Alex's concern to ensure a cohesive approach. This aligns with Karkari as he mentions that bullying is an ecological and systematic phenomenon. It makes sense to consider the perceptions of multiple stakeholders and their relationships with one another. And in relation to bullying prevention in schools, the inclusiveness of teachers into the 30 minutes meeting will be held for 2 months consecutively to foster a healthy environment for Alex to be able to progress academically and boost his self efficacy. In the meeting, teachers will discuss classroom teaching strategies that allows for students like Alex to feel motivated in learning and therefore he can view himself as a capable learner. Bandura 77. These strategies are not limited to inquiry teaching and explicit teaching in the classroom. Teachers need to evaluate their teaching style and suit it to the individual's ability of students. These teachers actively instruct, demonstrating skills, explaining concepts and assignments, conducting participatory activities, and reviewing when necessary. Flick. Similar to the classroom plan, where the teacher introduces to Alex a step by step process of how to write a hypothesis for the water sample experiment. Thank you for listening.